Yeah, we live, baby.
Yes, sir.
It's the Bros With No Hoes Podcast. It's VinceBracy.com.
Chase P.
Chase P. I can't. Every time. But yeah, we here, we live, we back, episode 2. Excited to be a part of a wonderful podcast.
Yes.
You guys are enjoying so far. Shout out to everybody that listened in on the first episode.
Yeah, shout out to all the listeners, all the subscribers, all the people who gave us feedback. Like, we really appreciate that.
That's right. And we're definitely going to give you a shout out at the end of the episode too. I told everybody, if you make sure you share it in your Instagram. If you listen to the podcast, you have something cool to say about it, we'll definitely make sure you get a shout out at the end of the episode.
Definitely.
So we'll keep that going too.
Gotta show love.
Gotta show love.
So let's get into it, bro. Like, what do you want to talk about?
What are we doing here today, man? On episode 2, what are we getting into?
Big Draco.
Big
Draco.
Big Draco, a.k.a.
the God MC.
Who actually... Did he have one of the biggest years? I don't know if he had the biggest comeback.
I don't think he had a big comeback. I mean, obviously after this, his whole blow up on the Breakfast Club, like, he's definitely the trending topic. But in terms of music, I don't think he has the biggest comeback.
Definitely not. So he didn't have a big comeback in music. He had a big comeback in being a viral sensation, which is something that he's been doing for, I would say, the last few years too.
Well, so. he came up off of like the internet. He came off of YouTube.
Right.
So that's his whole thing.
Yeah, he started on YouTube and stuff like that. So when he had mentioned on his now viral Breakfast Club video that Drake took his whole style, like Drake. Like, he took his whole style. Like, all right, so that song that he was referring to, he said on like one of his first songs, and I was like, what is he talking about? What is he gonna refer to? So he goes to tell me what's really going on, and that was the name of the song was.
I don't even know the name of the song, but I know they played that clip, and then they played the clip of Drake's song where he was saying the same thing. But you can't base a whole flow off of a half a bar or a whole bar. I took one bar from you, and now I took your whole style.
But also, that's what Drake does. That's just what Drake does. Drake.
Wait a minute. You may be onto something.
There you go.
There's a lot of songs that he took. If you listen to that song with damn, my mind is all fucked up tonight.
Word, but
I'm not remembering songs.
There's a bunch of songs, but that song specifically, like, if by now you haven't seen an Instagram post or something about it, that song was originally from what they say, like 2007 or something like that. Was Happening by Soulja Boy, where he literally said the same thing. Tell me what's really going on, Soulja Boy, back in this thing already. What's happening? I was like, oh, this is a bop.
What was that song? Let me make sure I get the right song.
This is a little bop right here.
He had the song that he sampled from Dead Prez is bigger than hip hop. There was one bar in there that Drake took from them. Drake
steals a lot of bars, guys. Just putting that out there.
But every rapper steals bars.
I was hoping you were gonna go there, because honestly, and here's the thing, Jay-Z actually
Cameron put out a whole diss song.
What?
A whole diss song that was literally not even Cameron dissing Jay. It was just him playing Biggie's verses. And then matching them up with Jay's verses.
Yep. And he say when he spit a big verse, he not, what is he? He's big enough his burrow. You know what I'm saying? He's big enough his brother. He's big enough to do it. He's that thorough. All right. Plus, it's all right. I'm not gonna. So the rings and things I sing about. All right. But yeah, Jay-Z does, do a lot of Biggie bars. I don't know if he takes bars from anybody else, but I definitely like the Biggie ones are definitely more noticeable. Drake, he's a musical connoisseur, and this is why I love Drake so much. He's a musical connoisseur in the fact that he dips into so many different types of music. Like, who is really looking for what's happening?
Yeah, like,
you know what I'm saying? And turn it into a big song. I'll never remember the name of the song. We're gonna get the name of the song. But this is the one with with Lil Wayne on it. I still remember this was like one of the last songs I ever downloaded from LimeWire when LimeWire was
I think it was
popping.
Miss Me.
Miss me. Man, you miss me a little when I'm gone. And that's another thing about Drake. He has like he starts off with bars and he'll go into the singing thing, and then Wheezy came in with that verse, which was the longest verse ever, I would say. If anybody ever has a chance to go back and listen to Miss Me, I thought Wayne was going to come on and spit a quick 16. His verse is like 3 minutes long, guys. It's a song in itself.
Oh, God.
And you can't play it on the radio without bleeping out most of the song, and that's what I love about Lil Wayne. Because if you remember how his verse started, it goes, "Oh shit, motherfucker, goddamn." So when you hear it on the radio, it goes, "Ooh, kicking out the condo like." I'm like, oh.
But here's the thing about rappers sampling, and about music in general. We could say the same for hip hop producers that sample from old songs. Can we give them that you stole somebody's flow argument because they like a Kanye West who pretty much samples from pretty much everybody? Can we give that same argument to like a Kanye West who makes a song and sampled maybe a singer's or another rapper's old song?
I mean, his first joint was Through the Wire.
Through the Wire, who was sampled. And then his other joints were sampled. And if you look at his new album, a lot of his songs are sampled. So can I say that Kanye stole other people's flows because he's sampling songs from people and his beats? So
that, I would say that is a possibility, but a big thing with producing, I feel like is weird that people don't get the same kind of flack when it comes to sampling. Like, obviously everybody's like, oh, where's Kanye's original stuff at?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's definitely got talked about for that. But, some of the greatest beats have been sampled. Some of the greatest producers have sampled. Shout out to Jay Dilla. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, what can you do? And that, honestly, that's where hip hop started. So that's being from the BX, the Boogie Down. You know what I'm saying? The biggest thing in music was to take a beat that you thought was dope, you know what I'm saying, and throw it in a loop and make sure your MC has some bars,
something like that.
Let people dance to it, get the crowd moving. That's what it was all about. So I could say that he's definitely, keeping true to the hip hop. But yeah, man, samples are samples out here.
So I mean, for a musician, I wouldn't even argue that if they took a bar from someone, and it's like who I think it was Jay who said it. You made it a hot line, I made it a hot song.
Made it a hot song.
So am I really stealing your flow when I'm taking a piece?
No,
of your art?
it was Jay-Z song, and Cassidy was the one that said that. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
because I'm a hustler.
Oh
homie.
no. But Jay said it but not. This is when Jay and Nas was going after it.
Oh, hold up.
And I think it was Dead Presidents.
I think you're right.
That it was Jay's song Dead Presidents that he took a bar from Nas's song.
Yeah.
And then when they were doing the whole beef, in one of Jay's diss records, he said, "You made it a hot line, I made it a hot song."
This is right.
And I think when Cassidy sampled that "I'm a Hustler"
word
that from Jay, and Jay made a freestyle saying, "Listen, y'all gotta stop taking my verses out of your songs or whatever." So Cassidy came back in one of his songs. I think it was the remix to "I'm a Hustler."
Okay,
I could be wrong. Please let me know.
With Mary J?
I think so. And then that's when he said he brought it back to kind of troll Jay and said, "You made it a hot line, I made it a hot song."
That was definitely a troll. So all in all, this to say that I think Soulja Boy is trolling, man. I think he's trolling.
Who is he trolling, though?
I think he's trolling the world. You know why? Because it's become a troll game. The name of the game is clout. It's the clout game. And this is something that rappers have been talking about for some time. I think a lot of people, like different types of entertainers, have been involved in this clout game, but it's been mostly rappers. And, all these young mumble rap dudes that are coming up, especially people like Tekashi 6ix9ine, you know what I'm saying, taking over the world, like just to prove a point, like, hey, look, I can get more attention than you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something that Soulja Boy is completely cognizant of. Like, he knows, like, this is what's happening,
But you know who's the biggest troll?
Who's that?
50 Cent.
Ooh, is he? Is 50?
Wait a minute. Did Soulja Boy steal from 50 Cent?
It's very possible.
Ooh.
He took my whole style.
He took the whole style from Fifth. Wow.
50's a big troll,
50's
boy.
the biggest troll. 50's the biggest troll.
I have to keep unfollowing 50 Cent every once in a while just because I can't.
I have to follow him.
I have to keep unfollowing him just because I'm like, all right, bro. Like sometimes like people use his posts. Like I think the Shade Room don't even repost him anymore. Like sometimes people used to use his posts as like, oh, 50 saying something, but 50 Cent is gonna say something now. Every time something happens, he got to stay relevant. 50 Cent is gonna say something about something.
So I think 50 Cent but he was definitely one of the pioneers to the troll. It was never classified as a troll when 50 started doing it.
Word.
But now it's like, okay, you're trolling somebody. You're doing this for clout. You're just doing this to get the attention on you. So I don't know. I just think people are just stealing people's models.
There you go. Also, since we're giving out Pioneer Awards, I would say 50 Cent is the first person to make beef fun. If you remember sitting at your lunch table back in the day when it was Jay-Z and Nas conversations, or you know what I'm saying? I don't even know who else was in the conversation back then. Like, oh, who's the biggest in New York, or who's the nicest? If people had Fab or Jadakiss in their top, it was always heated. You know what I'm saying? Ja Rule got laughed off the face of the earth at one point. Like,
oh yeah,
like it was fun to make fun of Ja Rule. Like,
exactly. He
made beef fun. Like everybody was like, "Yo, like this is funny." Like people cracked like jokes on Jadakiss fell into the trap too. People crack jokes on Jadakiss. Mm-hmm. He had that piggy bank video where he had all of them looking crazy.
Yeah,
messing with Fat Joe. Like it was fun. It was like this is a game.
Exactly. Because it's like, why would I beef to you to a level where someone can get hurt? I'd rather just have the entire crowd laugh at you. So it's like being in the classroom.
That's right.
Where all the kids are pointing their hands at the kid and laughing at him. That's what 50 Cent does.
50's always been a troll, man.
Instead
always.
of like with that stupid ass laugh, but it's like he'll do that as opposed to hire some goons or bring his goons to come at you and start a fight or whatever. It's like, no, I'm gonna get everybody to laugh at you as hard as they can and embarrass you publicly until you are off the face of the earth.
I think that's that New York mentality, yo. We just want to embarrass somebody.
Exactly.
What can we do about it?
So are we saying Soulja Boy, are we giving him that credit?
No, I definitely give him all the credit. Again, we talked about his influence in hip-hop. Everybody talks about him doing his whole, like, he was one of the first person to blow up off of ringtone sales.
Oh, yeah.
Just the whole, and he's the originator, I think, of arguing with niggas on Instagram and shit like that. Like, I don't understand, like, why that's a thing. Like going on live or going on your Instagram.
Like, how do I look? But that's the thing is, like, how do I look on the phone? Like, how do I look yelling at a phone?
Looking at your phone with all this anger, bro.
Like, you're just looking at a phone.
Y'all trying to count me out.
You're yelling at a phone. He's taking his coat off like he's about to. What are you going to do, punch the phone?
Right, so I don't know how he got into an argument with Rich the Kid, but I did see that same clip. He's taking off his coat. I'm like, bro, y'all are in
two different locations.
Like, why did you take off your coat like you about to do something? That's what I want to know.
It's like the new age of people arguing on their Bluetooths.
On their Bluetooth?
That's what this people looking at their phones thing. It's when you remember you walk outside and you see someone arguing on their Bluetooth and you think they're talking to themselves.
All right. I have seen that before in the back of a bus.
That's what this is. That's that new age, like yelling at your technology.
It creeped me out. I wasn't sure if they were talking on the phone or not, but somebody was very upset on the back of the bus, cursing somebody out, and I was just sitting next to them in the back of the bus like, yo, please don't get off at my stop. Best believe they got off at my stop. They got off at my stop. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't think they were wearing a Bluetooth. I think that person just might have been crazy, but that's what you get when you take the bus in the Bronx. It happens to the best of us sometimes.
Exactly. Did you see the Adrian Broner-Pacquiao fight?
I did not. I was very upset, but I did catch all the highlights. I'm a boxing fan. I just recently started taking a boxing class, so I'm excited about that.
I saw you on Instagram.
You know what I'm saying?
I definitely did see you on Instagram
I'm trying to get some punches in, you know what I'm saying? My coaches be beating me up and stuff. I'm not there yet. I got to work on my hand speed and whatnot. So, I'm trying to keep my fitness going, trying to get my brolickness on. But AB, everybody calling him Ass Beat now. Adrian Broner is I would like to say that he's a Floyd Mayweather protege.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's somebody that is definitely skilled, but hasn't been able to prove himself as of lately. But talks the most shit.
The most shit.
And when somebody said, "Oh, you trying to see that Pacquiao fight?" I was like, "Wait, Pacquiao's fighting today?" And then I was like, "Who's he fighting?" Adrian Broner. I'm like, "Oh, this is a Broner fight. This is not a Pacquiao fight."
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man, Pacquiao still got it. He's what 40?
He's 40 now.
40?
Just turned 40.
Yeah.
But there's an element to that Floyd Mayweather style of I'm gonna talk as much shit as I can, sell tickets, get asses in seats.
Right.
But the thing about Mayweather is that he hasn't lost yet.
Backing it up.
So he backs up the talk. He really just he's really just talking just to get you to come see the fight.
Pretty much.
I just want you to come see the fight, and then I'll handle the rest from there. I'll win. I'll get my money, and then we're all good. But Adrian hasn't mastered. I don't think he's mastered the troll game, in a sense, where I'm gonna talk as much shit as I can to bring you here, and then from there, it's just like whatever.
I don't know if it's the troll game that he needs to master or the actual boxing game, because again, I'm not going to take anything away from his skill. You know, he's a great fighter, but everybody knows Floyd Mayweather, he picks people for his fights. He hand chooses people that he knows he can beat. And everybody will say that. Oscar De La Hoya, Pacquiao, they all agree, like, yo, like, he knows he can beat somebody. Like, he'll take somebody out of their prime or when they're a little bit out of shape or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Or when they're like fresh in.
Yeah, but I think the most important thing about it is that that's his thing. He knows that he can beat them. I think Adrian Broner has more of a I don't know if it's just a cocky mentality where he's just like, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna fuck people up, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do my dance in the ring. And yo, like, he looked delusional coming out of this fight, man.
I can say so I saw the whole fight.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I saw the whole fight, and I think there were a couple rounds that Adrian won for the most part, but for the most part of the fight, excuse me, Pacquiao was on the attack the whole time, and
he's fast, man.
He's very fast, especially for a 40-year-old.
Oh yeah, but that's all he trains to do, man.
The guy literally drank his own piss.
You have to take into account.
He literally drank his own piss. That's
one thing.
That's a fact.
That's one thing, because you don't just drink piss and, you know what I'm saying, and not be able to beat people up. Because if somebody's gonna say something about it, you know what I'm saying,
Exactly.
Somebody's gonna say something about you drinking piss. Now, you have to take into account he from Philippines, right?
Mm-hmm.
He beat up everybody in his country, and he's over here doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, boxing is a world championship sport, so you know there's people from all different countries and stuff. But for you to be the best in your country, for you to be the best on like a whole side of the world, and then, you know what I'm saying, come over to America where people are still doing it. Like, we still got Floyd Mayweather out here. We still got other people out here doing their thing. I'm looking forward to that next Anthony Joshua fight. Yeah.
Anthony.
Yeah, really?
Nah, I think Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, after that fight, I think they that was
a draw, right?
It came out as a draw.
I thought that was a little silly.
I think after that it pushed Joshua to the back.
Yeah, because there's no king.
There's not that there's no king, but now that we know who the two best heavyweights are.
Okay.
You know, where was Wilder?
I've never watched Fury fight before either. So that was
I don't think I've seen Fury.
That was interesting to see both of them.
But with Wilder was supposed to fight Joshua.
Okay.
He was supposed to fight Joshua first, and Joshua was like, "Nah, I'm not going to do it." So that's when Tyson Fury came in, and Wilder was like, "Listen, let's fight, let's do it. I don't care where. We could do it any city. We could do it in America. We could do it in England. We could do it in your town or whatever." Josh is like, "Nah." He's like, "Listen, we'll go 60-40. Like, he was going to take less money.
Let's make it happen.
Like, listen, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Anthony Joshua was like, "Nah, I'm not going to do it." So it was like, that was your opportunity to really show that you're a good fighter, and you ducked it. And then Tyson Fury came up and stepped up and did a hell of a job, more than I honestly thought that was Wilder was gonna knock him out.
Yeah, everybody thought that. I feel like,
especially when Fury was on the floor, like basically damn near dead.
He def went down at one point
and came back up out of nowhere. I don't know how the hell he did that shit, but
bro, all his energy. Somebody threw him a sensu bean or something like that real quick. Like he made it happen.
Exactly. So, but after that fight, it was just like I feel like Joshua lost his steam because it's like you should have fought that fight.
Yeah. So I'm still looking forward to it to see what happens because I think the biggest thing out here these days and why like a lot of attention when Money Mayweather is not a part of the conversation, a lot of the attention is off of boxing because mostly the heavyweights are not, you know what I'm saying, are not representing the way like a Lennox Lewis or a Muhammad Ali, you know, was back in the day, or Mike Tyson, you know, like those are big names and they made big contributions to the sport. So,
but I think Wilder definitely has that flair that the old time heavyweights have now. I think he has that pizzazz that will bring people in and be like, yeah, I want to watch that fight.
To this day.
To this day. To this day.
To this day, I will watch that fight.
So I would love to see Wilder and Joshua fight, but I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
So did you hear about Rihanna suing her father?
Rihanna suing her father. All right, yeah, we did mention this.
So her father started his own company with I think it's like a talent management company or something like that. I'm not too sure, but he named it like Fenty Management. And you know Rihanna's got the Fenty Beauty.
His name is not Fenty?
His last name is Fenty.
Is it not her father?
I just found out that Rihanna's last name is Rihanna Fenty.
How you not know that?
I did not know that.
It's
shit.
Robin Fenty.
Oh,
yeah, and her name is Rihanna. Just so you know that.
Rihanna?
You heard it here first on Bros with No Hoes podcast. Her name is Rihanna.
Goddamn, that Rihanna.
That Rihanna.
Did you hear that Rihanna? Yeah.
Everybody that, and she's done plenty of interviews on it, but like the whole industry still continues to call her Rihanna. You know, and her name is, and I always say I'm gonna meet her one day. I'm gonna be like, yo, Rihanna, and I just want to see her eyes light up. Like, yeah, I said it right, bitch.
So after we just talked about the fucking women's march.
My bad.
So her father set up his own company with the Fenty name.
Fenty Management.
So she's,
which I wouldn't have a problem with. I don't know.
Exactly, but
that ain't no problem.
So she's suing him because I'm guessing she's trademarked that Fenty name, or it's like
she trademarked the name that her father gave her.
Exactly. Like that makes wild. That's like the pettiest shit.
That's wild. I'm trademarking so Bracy right now.
That's so petty. Like I don't even understand what's the point of that. But even with businesses, I think you can have the same name as a business as long as it's not in the same lane as your business.
Bring it down. But I think
so.
Obviously, I think he's trying to tie into the whole Rihanna thing. But I don't know if she got beef for her father. Who knows if they suing, you know what I'm saying?
True.
So maybe she just don't mess with her dad like that.
Who else didn't somebody else's parents sued? I don't know if her parents sued him or she sued her parent. Fantasia, didn't she?
Really?
Didn't she like sue her father, or her father like sued her for something?
What? I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think so.
Fantasia. I'm trying to think. What would it be? A music thing?
I think it was like a music. I don't think it was any business thing. I think it was music.
Straight music.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But while we're trying to find that, I think it just makes sense. I think it just makes sense for Rihanna's dad to have his company under his own name. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just beef. But
if he's trying to use Rihanna's likeness to like gain clients, then I guess you could probably sue. But like if he's just doing it separate from Rihanna, like this is my own thing, my last name is Fenty, so I might as well call my business Fenty.
Yeah.
So I don't see any reason to sue. I just think that's just stupid.
All right. This is from E! News in 2006. The American Idol winner's dad, Joseph Barrino, sued publisher Simon & Schuster for $10 million Tuesday, allegedly that the 2005 memoir Fantasia, Life is Not a Fairy Tale, contains false, exaggerated, sensational, intentional, and malicious untruths. So she had a book, I want to say,
Yeah, I'm guessing that was.
She had a book, and she must have said some shit about her dad, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not with it. Not with it." Shout out to parents that are not with it. You know what I'm saying? I had a sit down with my father one time, and I was like, "Yo, like, remember all those times you beat my ass?" And he was like, "Nah, not really."
I don't
I'm
think
like, "Yo, wait. Stop out, bro. Come on now. Come on. You whipped me all over the place, bro."
Yo, I swear to God, my mother does not remember.
She don't remember Jack
beating me. When I was a kid.
Yo.
She never doesn't remember anything of whooping my ass when I was a kid, me or my sister.
And we're like fake traumatized too. So like I don't know if you're a kid, or not as a kid anymore, but if you remember getting your ass beat, like this is something that I feel like everybody can agree with. Like, I don't know, maybe everybody didn't get their ass beat, but I feel like it's a common occurrence, you know, especially maybe in the black community. I don't know.
I think 90, like if you're 90s, 80s, 70s, if you're before the 2000s, I think you probably got your ass kicked by your parents.
Yo, I definitely agree with that. I mean, you know, now with the what is it? Not child support. What is it? Child services. They're cracking down on like abusive parents and stuff like that. They cracking down just a little bit.
I mean, some kids, I hate to get into it, but like some kids need to get their ass kicked.
Somebody need their ass beat.
Some of these kids need to get their ass kicked.
All the 2000s.
All these 2010s and all these 2000s babies.
Anywhere from there and up, these kids did not know nothing about no ass whooping, and it shows.
Hell yeah.
All the 2000s got a stern talking to.
Oh my goodness. And it's not good
Billy?
enough. It's not good enough.
No, hell no.
Them timeouts, them corners, it's not good.
Cause I feel like you need to know you need to understand the consequences of your actions, or that shit that you do can lead to punishment. Whether it's, I mean, from a parent's perspective, is you getting your ass kicked. But if you were to go out there in the street and do some wild shit, you're going to get arrested. You're going to go to jail. And I don't think
it's going down. When
you give a child minimal punishment, like go to the corner or you'll lose like your PlayStation for the week or something like that, that I feel like that gives a child incentive to do wild shit, because they know that they're not going to get like the maximum amount of punishment. They're just going to get some like little ass slap on the wrist. So it's like you go out into the world and do some wild shit thinking that you're just going to get a slap on the wrist, and next thing you know, you're in jail.
I think that's why a lot of kids are wilding out nowadays. Yeah, I've never seen, it's crazy the day and age that we live in. I've never seen so many people with face tattoos, and no offense to anybody with face tattoos, but it's just that's like a norm is weird to me a little bit, just a little bit.
Like, do you see yourself ever getting a job? And
some people, like I know for a fact, they don't, or they're going to be rapping for the rest of their life. And you know what I'm saying? If you got it like that, by all means.
Get your ass, you can have a face tattoo.
By all means.
That could be I want to say it was Travis Barker. The Travis Barker mentality, where I want to say it's him, the drummer from Blink-182.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a story where he said he tatted himself up so he would have no other choice but to be a rock star.
Shout out Trav Barker.
So that could be, I'm going to get these face tattoos and these face piercings, so I have no other choice but to be a successful rap star. Who knows? That could be, or you ain't get your ass beat when you were younger.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. He might have got his ass beat a little bit, but yeah, shout out Travis Barker. Once again, wait, what did you said? Blink-182. I think that was the main band.
Yeah.
Let me get white on y'all real quick. I know him he was in Red Hot Chili Peppers for a minute. You know what I'm saying? He did some stuff with them.
Travis, officially?
He did some stuff with them. I don't know if maybe he wasn't he was in some videos, I believe. Queens of the Stone Age. I saw him on with them. Don't ask why I know this stuff, man. Don't ask why I know this. There was another band I can't remember, but also he was in the Bad Boy for Life video.
He wasn't.
That's my shit right there.
Wasn't that
that's
video.
my shit. But yeah, man. At some point, you just got to know that that's what you're gonna do. So I think that leads us into our big topic for today, which is what we're gonna name the episode. Not 9 to 5.
9 to die.
9 to die. So I don't want to offend O'Day right now, but we and even you working 9 to 5.
I work a 9 to 5.
Right?
I'm not mad at it.
I
paying the bills.
Like I really just a little bit want one just a little bit, just because I don't do anything during the week regularly. You know, I've successfully been able to kind of support myself just a little bit by doing like random gigs here and there, which is I think, you know, the last few years have been all about the gig culture also. You know, people that are DJs, myself, I'm an MC, so I just, you know, roll out to whatever event that'll hire me and do my thing. But 9 to 5 or 9 to die, you know, people work jobs that, you know, they might not necessarily want. Some people do want these jobs, but you realize after a certain point you get to a place where it's like, this is uncomfortable for me, or I'm not getting the most out of it, or I'm not getting everything that I might have necessarily wanted out of it, or you just realize that somebody owns you and you feel kind of miserable about it. And I've been in that place before too, definitely.
Oh, I'm definitely in that place now. It's like how do I put it? Everybody has this like idea of their worth, you know?
Right.
Everybody says, "Oh, know your worth. You got to know your worth when you're going into certain places and know who you are." And it's like, yeah, but I think your worth is really just, especially when it comes to a 9 to 5, a traditional 9 to 5, your worth is basically how people perceive you.
Right.
Your worth is based on performance reviews and shit like that. So you may think you're a millionaire in your own eyes, but somebody may only see you as a $50,000 a year person.
It's very possible.
You know? So I can't be I mean, it's not my business, it's your business. I'm just an employee. So I can't be mad at that, you know?
You can't be mad
at that.
But so something that, you know, looking at all these different entrepreneurs and stuff like that, something that I always recommend to people is something that I try to do myself when I was working regular jobs, to use the time that you have to try to make something for yourself. I keep seeing a quote that says something along the lines of, don't work 8 hours a day for somebody else and not put in 1 hour for yourself to work on your dreams. You know, and that's something that really stuck out in my mind. And I really think that you should be able to find a way to use what you have or what you have going on to make it for yourself, to turn it into something that can benefit, you know, your dream or your goal. Like, I know there's a motivational speaker that talked about being he used to work at Cheesecake Factory. Shout out my guy David Shan, Sleep is for Suckers on Instagram.
Word.
He talked about working at Cheesecake Factory, and basically him trying to upsell people stuff was his sales pitch. So now he does sales. He had a clothing line. He does motivational speaking. And I realized, you know, working in a restaurant, I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings for like 4 years. I realized like doing that was every single table that I had was pretty much me hosting a show. So, and I used that, you know, to my advantage. Oh, how can I make this person laugh? Because if they don't laugh, if they don't enjoy me, if they don't have a good time, I'm not getting paid.
True.
You know, I'm only getting a tip from this table. And if they don't tip me, if they don't feel comfortable, you know, with my service, then, you know, I'm asked out. So I didn't do a good job hosting this specific show right here at this table.
Wow. I mean, that's actually a pretty interesting, like, way to think about it. I never really thought about it.
You got to turn it into something.
So, I mean, with me, I've pretty much worked for my entire career at like a desk.
Ooh, know? Wow. How does that make you feel as a creative person, a filmmaker?
It's a good and the bad thing. I'm trying to put this all into perspective for y'all.
Because I know a lot of people work, you know, regular desk jobs and stuff like that. And everybody has a different aspect to their job. So, like I said, if you can find something that works for you, like there's people that love being behind a desk.
It depends on what industry you worked in. So when I used to work in finance at a hedge fund. Ooh, and fancy. That's a very numbers industry.
Okay.
Where
I couldn't do it.
It's literally numbers and analytics. That's all it is. You know, it's numbers, analytics, it's speculation on the markets and all that shit. I don't feel like getting into it because I'm not trying to bore you guys.
He's getting a headache.
Yeah, that shit is fucking me up. But anyways, so in that industry, it was very hard to be creative because the entire time, all you're thinking about is what the job is for, and that's analytics, speculation, and numbers.
Okay.
So how could I even, and you're with people who that's all they talk about. So how can I really like and it's a very conservative industry as well. It's like shirt, tie, suit,
Nope,
clean shaven.
nope. And I don't have a problem with that at all.
There's nothing wrong with that because
some
people style it, they style it.
Right.
But it's very conservative, very clean cut, it's very cookie cutter. This is who you have to be. You can't step out of line. So in order to be creative in an environment that's so conservative, it's hard. But transitioning into a media industry where I work now, it's everybody's creative.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own like YouTube, or they've got their own blog, or they're doing things on Instagram, or they got their own podcast.
Which is the dopest thing ever, I think.
So in that space, you can be super creative,
right.
and it's embraced. It's not like, what? Like, what are you talking? You know what I mean? Like, so, and being at going back to what we were talking about, being at a desk, it was hard because my first job was a receptionist office manager at a nonprofit organization. I will not mention it, just to keep everybody safe.
Word.
And there'd be moments where it'd be like downtime and stuff like that. So I would try to like either write or like try to put something together for
use
like a film.
Your time,
yeah,
man.
I try to use my time wisely, or, discreetly, because obviously I don't want to get caught and someone comes and sees me and next thing you know I'm being fired or written up or some shit like that. So I would use my downtime to like write and stuff like that. But every 5 minutes, somebody would come to me. Oh, I need the printer needs work, or it's paper jam. It'd be like the simplest shit too. Like my mouse isn't working. Did you plug it in?
I'm good on that.
Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. Like the dumbest shit like that.
I know for a fact that I'm over stuff like that just because of like where I am in my career choice. Like certain things, like I even certain like hosting opportunities, I'd be like, I'm not doing that just because like, so it's hard for me. Like, I'm not to say that I'm super entitled or like I'm better than, certain things. Cause I will, break down and do, certain things like building up platforms and putting together stages. If somebody needs help setting something up, like DJ equipment and stuff like I'm all the way down for that.
Word.
If we're in that, but at the time, like certain things I'm just not doing because I'm like, this is not what I want to do. So I always encourage people to, find something that you love to do, find something that you would want to do for free. Because I definitely started hosting for free. I'm pretty sure you weren't getting paid when you started making your first videos and stuff like that, So that's the way, for anybody that's looking for a way to get into their dream, that's how you have to figure out a way to do it. And obviously the money's not going to come. Obviously you have to do it in your own free time. But I definitely always encourage people, hey, if you have something going on, if something makes you happy, if you do something that's a hobby of yours that somebody's making money off of, like them YouTube videos, like a podcast, which is what we're doing right now, then why not go and do it?
But I think in this new age of like the new workforce, I guess you can say, or like the new wave of workers that are coming into whatever industry it is, they have this like mentality of I need it instant. Like I need to be at my job for 3 months and then I need to be promoted. You know what I mean? And if I'm not promoted within 3 months, then I need to find a new industry. Yeah. I need to find a new job.
A lot of people do that too. And, some places try to lie to you, try to guarantee that you'll move through the company faster. And I've seen that happen to a lot of people. They get into a company where they're like, oh, this is a good look. And it might not necessarily happen the way that they wanted to. I'm more in a stage where like I'm seeing things, I'm seeing opportunities, and I've been more anxious for things to happen just because I've seen it happen for other people that quick. But I realize I have to put in the work. Yeah. So even not being under an umbrella of a company name or anything like that, I realize I have to, buckle down and double down on everything that I'm doing.
It's definitely going to take some time, and I think that's what most people don't understand. I know when I did my first film, my first short, when I was prepping for it, I was like, all right, this shit gonna be good. I'm gonna submit it to some festivals. I'm gonna submit it to some people. Next thing you know, I'm big time.
We gonna be blowing up.
We're gonna blow up.
I'm gonna have Denzel and Leo DiCaprio in my shit. I'm gonna be good.
I that's literally what I thought. But I was young. I was early 20s around that time, and I remember doing my first short film, and it came out so shitty, and I was like, this is gonna take some time.
I got some stuff to work on.
I got some stuff to work on. This is gonna be some time. So I think it's that aspect of time that most people just aren't ready for.
Yeah.
Realizing that, what do they always say? You gotta. It's like 10 years to be an overnight success or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't think people
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours. I don't think people are really willing to put in those hours of that time frame to get to where they want to be.
That's right.
And now in this new age of social media, where basically everybody's highlights are being put up on a big screen, and people make it seem like I'm traveling, I got my business, I got this, this, and that, all popping at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we compare ourselves to that, and we say, okay, well, they've traveled to 5 countries within the past 5 years. They've, from what Instagram is telling me, they've started their own business, and they're doing this. And to me, like, I used to be that person that would see that, be like, I gotta get my shit together. Like, I gotta
the time.
Yeah, like I gotta do this. I gotta, like, why am I not doing anything?
Yo.
But I think it took me obviously getting ready to transition into my 30s, where I realized, like, that shit is kill that noise.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, kill all that noise. I know my own path, regardless of how long it's gonna take for me to get to where I need to be. I'm still just gonna rock out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm gonna build it as I go.
I'm not gonna lie. I still kind of fall into that trap sometimes. And I told you before, I told you the other day, I had to unfollow like certain celebrities and stuff like that, just because like certain people that are in the industry that I want to be in and doing the things that I want to do. Like, I always use that as motivation and fuel. But then when I get to a certain point where it's like, okay, I feel like I'm almost there, and then they start blowing me out of the water, I'm like, oh no, I need to do this. And I'm like, wait. I can't do everything that they're doing because I'm not at that level yet. So
exactly.
To get real with y'all real quick, like, I definitely fell into a depression, like, just watching people on Instagram.
Yeah,
like,
that shit'll fuck you up.
There was a point where I'm just, I'm sitting, I felt like I wasn't really doing anything with my life. Even if I was working, if I'm scrolling through Instagram, I'm seeing everybody do all the things that I want to do. And I was working a job where I was traveling, so people thought that was super dope. I was traveling a lot, but I would be in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin, and it's just like, oh, like, there's all these parties going on in New York that need hosts and stuff like that, and I'm just like, damn, I can't even, I can't even network.
Touch that, yeah.
I can't do nothing like that. So that had me in a very dark place for a little while. And like I said, you mentioned Instagram is all about highlights. So I apologize if I'm giving anybody any anxiety or anything like that right now, because I stopped posting for a very long time, because I realized, like, exactly what you said about how, Instagram is fake. It's only like the highlights of people's life. People don't get to see the dark
the whole
points.
struggle and shit. Yeah.
And this is all why I made my my Snapchat show back in the day in 2015, because I wanted to show people, every aspect of what was going on in my life, the behind the scenes of stuff like that, to the point where, my mom had passed. I was homeless for a week and got to live with our wonderful producer. O-Day, Phoenix MPM. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these, crazy things that happened in my life. I showed everybody every aspect of that. For anybody that doesn't know, I put my whole life for a whole entire year up on YouTube under All Snap Vince Bracey. So feel free to check that out at some point. But yeah, like, every aspect of, like, things that you see on Instagram, like, you realize, like, oh man, like, some people might feel some type of way about it,
or feel this level of anxiety, like, shit, like, where's my life going?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, like, I felt like that too for a while. I was down in the dumps just like that, the same way. Like, I was about to lose my own fucking apartment.
Yo.
Like, I had a fucking eviction notice on my door. So And I'm looking at Instagram and I'm looking at all these people and I'm like, wow, this person is like
just got married.
Good, just got married, had a baby,
just brought a new house.
You know, moved to a new city. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, damn, like what the fuck am I doing with my life? But then I think you take a step back and you're like, okay, here's a question. Do I know what I want in my life? Yes. Am I better? It's like, for example, I had a conversation with a friend of mine a while ago, and I'm like, you know, I'm turning 30 this year, whatever. And she's like, oh my God, like, are you scared? Are you scared to turn 30?
I wasn't scared. I was more bored to turn 30. I was like, what am I doing? I'm not doing shit.
She was like, are you scared to like, are you freaking out? And if you had asked me at 25, am I freaking out to turn 30?
Probably,
I'd have told you yes.
Definitely.
But now it's like, well, am I in a better place than what I was at 29?
Absolutely.
Yes. Am I better than where I was at 28? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I'm not like scared or freaked out of turning 30 because I feel like maybe I haven't hit, because we always have that, like, I need to do this, I need to be at the place that I want to be.
That's definitely where I think most people were.
We always have that, like, that milestone of 30.
I agree.
And if we don't have all of that,
it doesn't help that our parents did everything, you know, at a younger age.
Yeah, it's true. Like, my mom had me when she was damn near 24.
Yeah, same.
So, and when I was 24, I was still getting fucked up in the club.
You know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, I think our parents kind of fucked up.
They definitely did. They definitely did.
They were doing a lot of shit.
Because I always thought, like, all right, so if my parents had me at 25, 26, then I should probably, you know, be getting ready to settle down, have a family. I wasn't ready to do that.
Hell no.
I'm barely ready to do it now. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
At 30. So it's still kind of a not a taboo subject, but it's like, yo, I'm not with it. I'm not ready for it right now. I feel like I'm very immature at times. Like, listen, so I'm just not ready for certain things in life.
I still like find it hard when people be like, oh, like, can you buy me some food or whatever? Like, I don't feel like buying you food.
Who asking you for food out here?
Just like, you know, friends, you go to the store like, oh, can you pay for this? And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to pay for that, because I just want to pay for my own meal. And I'm like, if I have a child, like, that's what I'm going to have to do. Like, you know, a whole, you know, I'm used to spending $12 maximum at McDonald's. Now I got to spend a whole $40, $50. Like, come on.
A Happy Meal is not that much.
It's so crazy because I never understood when I was a kid when my mom would, like, get paid and I'll ask her for money. And, like, on the day she gets paid, she's like, nah, I'm broke. Like, I never understood that until I got older.
When them bills hit,
the bills hit, and now you get paid, and
the day
then
before you get paid, you broke.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do the math in your head, you be like, I ain't even gonna enjoy my paycheck.
Yeah.
That's wild. I never asked my father for money, so I don't I knew not to ask, so that was an issue for me.
Yeah, man. So all in all, I think I usually just take life year by year, you know, and every year I just try to do better. And not worry about that. I've even, like, I limit my time on Instagram now. Like, half the shit that's on there, I just be like, nah, I can't even look at that. Of course, I have my people, you know, that I follow for motivational purposes.
Right.
But I follow people who are, like, at the pinnacle already.
Okay.
Like the Tyler Perrys, the Diddy's, the Oprahs.
All right.
Like, that's the highest point. Not the highest point. I'm sure you can go higher than that, but that's a high point.
Right.
In terms of, like, what you're striving for.
Of course.
But, like, these, like, little, you know, Instagram people and shit like that.
There's a lot of them. I even tried to be one at one point. I was like, I wonder if I could.
I stopped unfollowing those people.
I wonder if I could do that.
Because they make it seem like they're on that level.
Yeah.
That Oprah level or whatever. But really, they're taking the same train you taking.
Exactly.
You know? So
if anybody needs some motivation or anything like that, or even some encouragement to try to move forward on a dream or something that you had, like, please let us know. Feel free to give us some feedback. Just because, like, my whole thing, I think this is ever since I became VinceBracy.com. Like, I always just wanted to see everybody succeed.
Word.
You know, I always wanted to see everybody do their thing. So you had mentioned like people that you follow and stuff. Now you had put me on to Damon Dash's book. His recent
Culture
book,
Vultures.
Culture Vultures, which I feel like he wasn't even really talking about that much culture vulture stuff in there?
I heard I didn't read the book, I heard the audiobook, and I thought he was going to talk about like the industry, how people are just, I thought the majority of the book was going to be about how basically white people take black people's shit.
I really thought it was going to be mostly about that. I think his biggest thing was that he didn't want anybody to take away from the culture without reciprocating.
Exactly.
So he mentioned just he even talked about like Lee Daniels, how he didn't pay him that $2 million that he owed him.
But that's not culture vulture shit.
Word.
That's just.
But basically taking anything that can be deemed cool, anything that can be used for like monetary benefit, and not giving back to it. Like not making sure that, my man's is good after that, or not giving credit and stuff like that, I think can be seen as culture vulture. So we're not even going to get too deep into the culture vulture, but you did want to touch on his book. So I did take a couple notes. We already mentioned about a big thing that he talked about was anybody that's a creative being, if you want to do something, and if you're trying to make money off of it, it shouldn't be about the money, but you should want to do it for free. We talked about that already. You should want to do it for free.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get anywhere unless your heart is in it.
Word.
And that's why, like I said, I told myself probably like 4 or 5 years ago that I didn't want to do anything that didn't have to do with hosting. Or having a microphone in my hand.
Exactly.
So it's been rough, following your dreams is not an easy thing.
Hell no.
Like I said, I've been unemployed for months and months and months, trying to find gigs here and there. But it's like, these are the things that you have to face if you want to follow your dream. So people can tell me, oh, you look like you're doing this, or you're doing that, or you're doing so many things. I'm like, yeah, again, when it comes back to the highlights, when I do something, I'm gonna post about it.
I'm gonna post it. Y'all gonna see the highlight.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna
Ain't
see
like
me
I'm
on
not
that
gonna see it.
Jumbotron.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the same way. Like I have people who are always contacting me and saying, "Oh, you Chase, you're just doing so much. You're doing so much. Like you keep doing your thing." And I'm like, that's just the highlight of it.
Exactly. So one of the biggest things that resonated with me, he said, "There's no business without problems." So
hell yeah.
You have to hit some roadblocks. You have to hit some obstacles at some point. But he says, don't focus on the obstacles. Just understand that if you're trying to go into business, that there's going to be some stuff holding you back at some point.
Especially if it's something that you're not really privy to.
Word.
When you're starting a business, I know when I first started filmmaking, I didn't go to film school. I didn't study film in college or anything like that. I didn't take any like screenwriting courses. Like I went straight, like just I had an interest in it, and I was like, I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna go after it. Like I have an interest in this, and whatever happens, happens. And I think that naivety. Did I say that right?
Naivety.
Did I say that right?
The right word?
Nativity.
The nativity scene.
I think that naivety of going into it just not knowing anything and just learning as you go sort of worked to my benefit, because it was just like, well, whatever happens, I'm just going to use that as a learning experience.
That's baptism by fire, man.
Exactly.
Gotta get into it.
So that's a hot bar, bro.
That's a hot bar, ain't it, y'all?
Wait, I had to take a minute back to. Well, okay, all right. What was it? Baptism by?
Oh, you never heard that phrase before?
Nah.
Oh no, that's basically if you don't know, and I've definitely been in a lot of situations where I had to jump into something and just like see how it goes from there. Yeah, the phrase is baptism by fire. Basically, anytime you're not ready to do something or you don't know how to do something, if you just do it, you'll learn.
You'll pretty much, that's been my mantra this whole time.
Like we just started doing this podcast. We talked about what we wanted to do, but we didn't like take any podcast classes or anything like that. People could probably tell that by now. But we just jumped into it and said, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? We'll tweak it here and there. We'll improve as we go along.
Yeah.
So
and learn as we go. And I'm sure the more you do it, the more consistent you stay with it, the better you'll get.
Word.
And that's how I learned. That's how I'm learning this podcast game. That's how I'm learning how to be a better filmmaker, how to be a better writer, how to be a better producer. That's just learn as I go.
There you go. Now I could tell my story real quick about hosting, but maybe I'll save that for another episode. But we can't get out of here without, because we mentioned Dame's book. We mentioned Dame's book, but we can't talk about how as cool as he is, and if you've ever seen his Breakfast Club video, you know he drops pretty much the same type of like knowledge and stuff like that, business knowledge and stuff like that.
I think his message kind of gets convoluted because of the way he delivers it.
Yeah,
like he does it so hardcore. Everybody's like kind of turned.
Is he from Harlem?
Yeah, he's from Harlem.
He's from Harlem. I thought so. So yeah, so his delivery is very Harlem. If you ever check out his audio experience, and the best part about his book, which I realized, I was like, wait, is he serious right now? The best part about his book, while he's giving all these tips and all this entrepreneur, stuff, he remains like a dude from Harlem in the sense that, all right, so let me just give you a random quote. Like he'll say like, oh, my son didn't want to take money from me because he don't like the way it feels. Pause. I'm like, wait.
He literally said pause like every other sentence. He'd be like, you know what? I just wanted to work hard to get it bigger and bigger. Pause. He was like, yo, I love all forms of money. The dollar, the yen, the franc. Pause. Like every 5 minutes was pause.
Yeah, I like the franc. Pause.
Yo, shout out to Dame Dash though. I think it was very motivational. Like if you have Apple, I think it's on Apple Music. If you have Apple Music, you can search for the Culture Vultures audiobook.
Check it out.
It's not even an audiobook. The whole thing is a mixtape.
It's an audio experience.
It's an audio experience, if you want to say. But he definitely drops a lot of jewels. He talks about ownership. Pause. My bad. He talks about ownership. He talks about putting your own money into your own projects, which I feel like a lot of people don't do.
Bang, bang. That's right.
They're literally trying to get other people, they call it OPM, other people's money, in order to fund their work. So definitely putting your own money up and having some ownership. He said one thing that was like so fucking true, that even now working where I'm working now, I feel it too. It's like, you're working in a space of people who have a boss.
Right.
So it's like your boss has a boss who also has a boss.
That's right.
Who also has a boss. You know what I mean? So it's like someone's giving you a performance review or someone's telling you you can only get this amount of money or whatever. And it's like you can get fired just as easy as I can get fired.
That's right.
You know? Like someone could call you to the office and tell you this is your last day.
That's right.
It's definitely having that ownership and whatever it is, like just own something, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And working in the corporate world for a little bit, like I've definitely seen that. I've seen my boss or people's bosses get fired, and it's super rough, man. It's super rough. It's like, how am I supposed to, do something with myself? So like I said, you have to do something for yourself. And that's why I chose the route that I chose. I would still be happy to work, for somebody if I'm happy in the place that I'm in, if I know I can see myself excelling and, progressing from there.
Word.
But as of right now, it's vincebracey.com, man.
Yeah, man. So let's get some shout outs out. Let's do some shout outs.
So at this point, thank you guys for listening once again. We appreciate you. I told everybody on our Instagram, mine being Vince Bracey, Parker's being Parker's Paradise, and our new Instagram page is officially up, Bros Wit No Hoes Podcast. Please follow the page. Show us some love on there. So I definitely wanted to shout out, a few people. I think this is the part where I think I'm going to have Phoenix bring that instrumental back up. Bring the beat in. Da, 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 da. All right, so I want to shout out my guy Greasy. I want to shout out my boy Manny. DJ Ron Manila from Rugged Maniac and UVA. He said he listened to the podcast. I said, what's up? I got to shout out Brendan and Larique again. Thank you so much for giving us feedback and taking a listen. Now I'm going to skip over to IG and see who's up here. All right, so I'm going to shout out the people that are following us on IG that I know. And Malk, you can do everybody else. I'm scrolling through the list. My boy Rob, Just Be Brilliant on IG. I wish I had something better to say about my boy Rob. Just Be Brilliant on IG. I call him Goldmine. That's my boy from back in the day. Of course, our beautiful cousin Taylor, who's about to have a baby soon. Thank God and God bless. My friend Lily, Chef Lily is up on here, and her boy Clive, her man Clive, Clive and Lizette. Thank you so much. Greg P, the MC, I met at Movement Monday. Shout out to you. My guy, Plug Certified, Feed the Plug Digital on IG. Thank you for supporting, bro. Who else I got up on here? Eddie. I got E Summer, my guy. He's down to do some work for us. That's one of Niles' friends from college, but he's a supporter of the podcast.
Dope.
He's super dope, man. Super dope. And I was told I got to show some more love to my baby. She said give a cuter shout out. So, baby, I love you. Thank you for listening.
Aww. All right, some quick shout outs. Got to shout out Jody from Buff. Thank you for supporting.
Buff.
Shout out Ashley from Buff, too. Thank you for supporting. Shout out to the Cuzzo, Danielle, for supporting the podcast. My man DJ D-Red, Dominique, Wendell. Oh, and go listen to his podcast, too.
Please. And I think he gave us a comment on SoundCloud, too. I showed him some love on that.
That's what's up. So go support my man DJ D-Red. And also, congratulations. I know you're coming up on your year anniversary. He was married last year.
Yes,
so
congrats.
Who else we got?
Gotta have him on sometime.
Gotta shout out my man J4 Breezy. I miss you, brother. Come see me. Come holla at me. Gotta shout out my man Pat. Gotta shout out
Pat.
Rich. Gotta
Rich.
And I gotta shout out my twin sister because she followed me.
Taja.
Those is my shout outs. So as always, if you guys have any events, any parties, any gatherings, any kickbacks, don't invite us because we don't have any hoes. And don't ask me, do I have any hoes?
We ain't got no hoes.
Because we ain't got shit. All right, it's the Bros With No Hoes podcast. Peace.
Peace.